Live for November 19th, 2023. I'm Peggy Kay, and today there are updates for YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, for website owners, and a lot more. The theme today, of course, is AI. Seems like to be the ongoing theme for this year. But first, I wanted to mention, like always, if you want to get your links and updates and tips for the week, be sure to sign up for my email newsletter. There is a link in the video description. It's at newsletter.peggyktc.com. Welcome to everyone who's here live. I see Diego and Craig and Andrew and Jolyn. Thank you so much for being here live. I'd love to know what you think about this week's updates. And if you have any questions or comments, be sure to post them in the chat. All right, let's get started because there is a lot today. The first thing I wanted to talk about is a huge update on YouTube for AI. And I'm just opening up the window so you can see it on screen. All right, so the first thing I wanted to talk about today is a big announcement that YouTube made about AI on the platform. And they have a new disclosure requirement that they've announced. This has not been implemented yet. This is coming soon, though. So they say that we believe it's in everyone's interest to maintain a healthy ecosystem of information on YouTube. They have long-standing policies that prohibit technically manipulated content that misleads viewers and may pose a serious risk of egregious harm. It's a lot of big words there, but basically, if you are posting content that's meant to mislead people in a harmful way, that's not allowed. So, what are they doing with regards to AI-generated content? They say over the coming months, they're going to introduce an update so that viewers will be able to see information that what they're watching is what they call synthetic. And I think it's important that YouTube is using the term synthetic instead of AI because this applies to any artificially created content, not just with AI. Also, if you go into Photoshop or use whatever method you want, you could be cutting film manually, and this would still be applicable to your content. And what they said is that they're going to require creators who upload content that is artificially created but looks realistic. You're going to have to disclose that. When you upload your content, YouTube will then have a notice on screen, either in the description or on top of the video itself, saying that this is a synthetic video. They say if you don't disclose it and it's synthetic, there could be repercussions in terms of having the video removed, or you could have your channel removed from the YouTube Partner Program. And one of the things that has come up in discussion is wondering how YouTube is going to know content is synthetic. If someone doesn't disclose it, and YouTube hasn't explained that, it will be interesting to see how this works when it actually goes into effect. So be mindful of that change if you're generating videos using any of the tools out there that let you create video from prompts or edit videos, put somebody's head on someone else's body, that sort of thing. The other really big update that YouTube announced is something called Dreamtrack, synthetic music. This is, of course, again, AI generated. This is something that YouTube developed with DeepMind. The DeepMind is Google's AI research division, and along with the music industry. So unlike some other AI music tools, this is done together with the music industry, and these artists opted in. Craig noticed that special effects are synthetic. That's absolutely true. One of the things that we've seen is that some fake content, either meant to be intentionally misleading or not, will use what you would consider to be special effects to represent something that didn't actually happen. I suspect that sort of content will also need to be labeled. If it's part of a movie, maybe not, because then people should know that it's artificial, but clips from movies get taken out of context, so I'm not sure how they're going to approach that. So looking at music, this Dreamtrack for Shorts tool lets you enter a text prompt and then select one of the artists who's opted into this, and it will generate a song in the voice and style of that artist. So you can see Alec Benjamin, Charlie Puth, Charlie, I'm going to say XCX. That's probably not how you pronounce it. I am an old, so that's why. Demi Lovato, John Legend, and so forth. So this is only available to a relatively small number of creators right now. And they are posting on YouTube. Let me just spend a second. Apologies while I call up the link that I didn't realize that I needed. The idea is that when you create music artificially like this, they will have a specific hashtag, and there will be a built-in ID so that you can post this and they will automatically know that it's artificial. Okay, what I'm showing now, Dreamtrack AI is the hashtag. There's a small number of creators who are testing this AI tool. And as you can probably see, they've generated a lot of shorts. If you go to this hashtag in the YouTube mobile app, you can open one of these shorts and choose the option to remix the audio. So these creators use the AI tool to generate songs. They have those songs in their shorts. You can then remix the audio from the shorts into your own video. The limit to that is if you put one of these songs in a long form video, you cannot monetize it. So that is the new big cool tool. The other neat thing that YouTube announced is a new set of audio AI tools for music. And let's see how they have the descriptions. All right, they're calling it new options for creators, viewers, and artists. Part of what they're going to do is give new feedback and reporting options, privacy requests, specifically on AI-generated content. And for music, there's going to be a new music tools that let you do things like hum a song and it will generate the music from the song. Or you can change the instruments the song is using or the style of music. These all sound really cool, not available yet. They are talking about it now, so you can kind of anticipate it, but it won't be available until next year. And if you want more technical information, you can see this post from Google's DeepMind. They talk about how they do watermarking of these AI-generated audio clips. So there's something called Synth ID. This is not audible to people, but it's baked into the audio track itself. And it is supposed to be resistant to being manipulated. So if people just take a clip or they speed up or slow down the audio track, the watermark will still be there. That will allow YouTube and other platforms to automatically detect that this is AI-generated music or other audio. So those are the big updates for YouTube. I wanted to mention a couple other quick video creator updates. Firstly, if you use Twitch, there's a new privacy center. You should definitely check that out. It has information about their privacy promises and information about all the privacy tools that they offer for your Twitch account. I want to point out this comment from Craig. All this AI stuff makes me not want to create. That's too bad. I think that there is a lot of promise that these tools can be used really creatively and let people create new things. It certainly shouldn't be replacing creators. And so this is just like using filters in your video editing software, all these other things. Hopefully, you get inspired by some of the new tools that make that easier. Right, and my last video related update for today is an update from Instagram. Instagram is updating their Reels video editor. Some of the things are kind of obvious and you wonder why they didn't have them already. So there's an undo, redo option. You can add clips with audio from their Media Clip Hub. You can add text-to-speech voices, updated fonts, and text styles. You can turn any photo or video into a custom sticker, new photo filters, and new reports in the analytics that they give creators. So you can see the number of replays, and eventually there's also going to be a retention chart so you can see what percentage of your video people are actually watching. There is obviously a sort of a tension between Instagram and YouTube. YouTube has Shorts, Instagram has Reels, and their video editors are actually pretty different, but they have a lot of similar features, and I think that kind of drives what kind of content people make with those video editors. I'm going to switch gears slightly here and talk a little bit about an update to AdSense. But first, really, really quickly, I'm going to mention that there was a bug. This is a problem with AdSense for content. So AdSense on your own personal website. They had a problem with the GDPR messaging. This is something that you implement on your site in your AdSense settings to comply with European Union rules. It has a dialogue thing that pops up that lets people visiting your site choose whether to accept the ads or not, and it has to do with tracking and so forth. They had a problem with this where people said, yes, I accept, show me the ads, and the system misinterpreted that or didn't work, and the ads weren't shown at all. So what that means is between the times this is a problem, so between 4 p.m. UTC November 8th, 2023 and 4 p.m. UTC November 15th, that means people visiting a website from the places where GDPR is in effect, so that's like the European Union, they may not have been shown ads. If you get a lot of traffic from Europe to your website, that may mean there was a drop in AdSense ad impressions and revenue. What's new with AdSense is that there is a new ad review center. So if you have AdSense on your own website, or you use Google Ad Manager or AdMob, you can go into your AdSense account, view the ad review center, and you can actually see which ads were served on your site. You can then choose to block some of those ads if you don't like the advertisers. So this is something you should check out if you are using AdSense on your own website. They have redesigned the ad review center to make it easier to see the ads, to review, easier to take bulk actions for blocking, and so forth. I'm going to switch gears slightly and talk a little bit about a new option for your website if it offers a course. There is new structured data. This is code you put on your website that tells Google search or other places what the data is. So it lets you break it down by data type. They are adding new options for structured data for courses. And this means you can now add course information on Google search for things like the price of your course, the educational level. So is it, high school level or for kids or whatever, ratings, and the length of the course. This is probably really worthwhile to do if you have a course on your website. But the big news from Google search is a new feature called Notes. You can opt into this if you are in Google Search Labs. Google Search Labs lets you try experimental features in search. This Notes option lets you do a search on your mobile device, and then you will see an option to add a note. This is from the announcement. It demos what you do. So you see a search result. You can choose to add a note. The notes editor lets you make like a post that's very much like what you would see in an Instagram story. It's vertical. It lets you add an image and text and stickers. And these notes are then visible to people visiting that website or that search result. They will also be visible on your new Google profile. You will not actually have anything on your profile yet unless you've left a note. This is at profile.google.com. Once you've added a note, it will show your Google account name and icon and any notes that you've added through Search Labs. I think this is really pretty interesting because there's obviously a lot of potential for a Google profile that's public to show various information. And I really am wondering if this is going to be a new way for people to be followed. You can imagine following someone on their Google profile so you can see their new notes the same way you can follow someone in local guides on Google Maps when you can see their new reviews. You could obviously add other personal information there. It could be, again, a new universal Google profile, sort of like back what we had in the Google Plus days, except no social media component to it. So this has the potential to develop into something that's a public Google profile with more information than just your notes. We'll see what happens. I want to welcome Bridget to the chat. Hi, Bridget. Good to see you here. And I want to hear what people think. Andrew says, interesting, set a Google alert to follow a new Google profile. That's what I'm envisioning. Google may have plans, but maybe they're taking it slowly this time. The other kind of neat thing I wanted to share with you all is Microsoft Copilot. Now, this week, Microsoft had their big developer conference, and they announced a bunch of things. And one of the things they said is that their AI is now officially called Copilot. Anyone can access it with their Microsoft account. I just have a free Microsoft account here. This is at copilot.microsoft.com. And you can go there and try out their chatbot. I can see I'm actually hiding some of the information. I'll move over to the other side. Now you can see that they have a chatbot, ask me anything. There's more options suggested there. So you can give Microsoft's chatbot a try at copilot.microsoft.com. This, I believe, is driven by ChatGPT, which is having some problems currently. OpenAI, which is the parent company, fired their CEO, Sam Altman. And it's not clear what's happening there. Andrew asked, does Copilot have a PWA for Chromebooks? I don't think so, but it's just a website. It seems to load fine on my Chromebook. Give it a try. All right, so those are the big updates for this week. And those are the main things I wanted to talk about. I'll mention really quickly, there is a new feature in Google Photos that looks really useful, where, again, it uses AI to organize your Google Photos uses AI to help organize your library. So if you have a whole bunch of photos that were taken about the same time, it will group them together in what they call a photo stack. You can either use whichever photo the AI thinks is best as sort of the cover image for the photo stack, or you can pick your own. The idea is that helps tidy up your photo library so that if you've taken 10 very similar photos, they're all in a bunch rather than scrolling through the whole thing. The other thing that they announced is that they will be doing more to automatically detect screenshots and documents and organizing them. So you can upload your receipts or copies of important documents and so forth to your Google Photos, and Google Photos will automatically put them into folders. You will also be able to choose an option to automatically archive the screenshots after a certain amount of time. Those screenshots will still be available in these specialized folders, but they won't be in your photo library. So when you're scrolling through your library, you won't actually see all your receipts, that sort of thing. So it sounds like it's going to be really useful. And I'm just going to take one moment to check my notes and see if I've covered everything for today. It looks like I have. Last thing to mention, I'm going to be over on X, Twitter, talking about supporting creators and asking some questions. There'll be a discussion immediately after this. So if you are on X, head on over, check the on eBoard chat hashtag or my profile, which is Peggy KTC. And I will be posting a poll and some questions, and I'd love to know what you all think about monetarily supporting creators. Thank you so much for joining me today. One last thing, Richard Clarkson says, I hate that YouTube stopped those with ad blockers. So we now have to look at ads or switch to the top level, YouTube Premium, which is a lot of money. Yes, YouTube has been showing people who are using ad blockers a notice that they can only see a limited amount of content if they're still blocking ads. And it's something you have to think about. And it really feeds into the discussion I'm going to have over on X about supporting creators, because watching the ads not only helps Google and YouTube, but it also helps support the creators whose videos you're watching. So something to think about. I will see you next week. If you're in the US, I hope you have a fantastic Thanksgiving holiday. See you next Sunday.